Y'all know what we here for, so let's jump right into it. After Jacob left his mom and daddy's house, they both told him, don't marry no Hittite woman and don't marry no Canaanite. And in fact, go to Haran and marry one of your uncle's daughters. Meanwhile, Esau out here marrying all the undesirables, thinking that's gonna do something. Okay, weird flex. As the sun was setting on Jacob's way to Haran, he found a rock to lay his head upon. He had a dream, and in this dream he saw the OJs dressed up as angels going up and down the ladder singing the Stairway to Heaven. Then a voice came from the cloud, and it said, Jacob, I am the God of your grandpappy Abraham. Place where you laying your head right now, I'm gonna give it to you and all 11,000 of your babies. And while you out here in these streets, I'm gonna be your top flight security. Jacob woke up and he said, oh, God must be up in this bad mamma jamma right here. He poured oil on the stone that his head was laying on and named it Bethel, which was once called Luz. So he kept going on his journey and he came across a well. A few shepherds gathered around the well to water their flock. Jacob said, hey, partner, where y'all from? Man, we from the H. The H? Yeah, Haran, bro. Oh, okay, that's dope. Do y'all know OG Laban, Ahor's grandson? Oh, yeah, man, no doubt. Yeah, how you doing these days? Oh, he good. But you do better asking his daughter, Rachel. He should come down with his flock. The word says that Rachel was a shepherdess of her father's sheep. It's a good thing that they was by the well, because Jacob was looking real thirsty on sight. Girl, out of all these sheeps, you the baddest. See where I come from? You are what we call a stallion. Pure thoroughbred. Then Jacob gave her a kiss and he wept loudly. He told Rachel that they was kinfolk. Then Rachel ran home to tell her father, and Jacob finally meets Laban. Jacob ends up staying and working for Laban for over a month until Laban finally asked Jacob what he would like to be paid for his services. Now the word says that Laban had two daughters, Leah, who had tender eyes, and Rachel, who was shapely and beautiful. So Jacob told his uncle Laban that he would work for him for 7 years if he could have Rachel's hand in marriage, and Laban agreed to that. So upon the completion of his 7 years, Jacob went to claim his prize from his uncle. Laban put on a ceremonial feast for Jacob and his new wife. But instead of giving him Rachel, he ended up giving him Leah. Jacob got up the next day. Say, bro, what's this? I asked you for your stallion, not your mule. Ugh, for real, what is this? This is not the Pokemon I chose, Laban say. Hey, my bad about that, nephew. It's customary around here to marry off the oldest first. But you know what, Jacob? I like you. I make you a deal. How about you work for me another 7 years, and I go on to give you Rachel? And Jacob did just that. Now the Lord felt bad for Leah about how Jacob was treating her, so he decided to bless her with some babies. So she gave birth to Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Now Rachel was envious of her sister because she could not have children. In fact, she went to the extent of blaming Jacob as to why she could not have children. And Jacob say, baby, that ain't got nothing to do with it. If it's broke, better ask God to fix it. So she told Jacob, since I can't have babies, why don't you take my slave Bilhah and have babies? And Jacob did just that. Bilhah gave birth to Dan and Naphtali. Then Leah gives her slave Zilpah to Jacob, and she gave birth to Gad and Asher. Then Rachel trades with Leah one night with Jacob for some of Reuben's mandrakes. Then Leah gives birth to Issachar and Zebulun. And then God was like, oh, I almost forgot about you, Rachel. And then she gives birth to Jojo. So one day Jacob goes to Laban and tells him, say, man, me and the family, we about to head on out. Hold on there, nephew, not so fast. Yeah, I was reading my horoscope last Wednesday, and it told me that the Lord was blessing me because of you. You Virgos are something else. So look at here. Just name your price and you know I got you. Say, Unc, I know you see how hard I've been working these past 14 years or so. When I met you, you had little to nothing. Now you got a whole lot of something. Let me go do the same for me and mine. Don't be like that, nephew. Name your price. Well, I tell you what, Unc. How about I take the speckled and spotted sheep off your hands, including their offsprings, and you can keep the rest. All right, that sounds like a plan there, nephew. So Jacob worked another 6 years for his uncle Laban. Now Jacob fixed it to where all the strong sheep would reproduce speckled and spotted sheep, and the weaker ones would make the plain sheeps. Now the wealth of Jacob was starting to build, and the attitude and the atmosphere was starting to change. Then the Lord said, all right, Jay, my boy, it's time for you to pick up and go back home now. Then Jacob called his wives out to the field, and he said, yo, ever since these sheep been born, your daddy been acting brand new. Yo, since I've been here, your daddy wealth been growing. And every time he coming up with a deal, he always scam and sway. Like Leah take you, for instance. I didn't ask for you. I made that abundantly clear I didn't want you. And yet, 6 kids later, here we are. I say all that to say, it's time to go. And they agreed. So Jacob packed up his family and his flock. Rachel stole her daddy's Xbox, his gold watch, the remote to the TV, and they left.